Hello to anyone who's out there right now. I'm going to make sure my phone is down because otherwise that will start feeding back to me. There we go. Awesome. Alright, I'm just going to sit here and wait for a few people to turn up. Unfortunately, for anyone who's seeing this video, I may have to figure out if I can trim this for YouTube, otherwise you're going to have to skim forward to a certain time code. Not particularly helpful. Unfortunately, I can't figure out how PS5 schedules streams. I think I could see that was obvious. But, oh, you can pause it. That might have been a sensible option. Apparently you can pause the stream. That would have been a much more sensible option, I guess. Alright. I'll take the... So I've literally just loaded this up. It's fresh. Hey, Nighthawk, how's it going? Hope you're looking forward to the game itself. As you can see, I'm overloaded in the DLC, so it's coming up straight away. Including the difficulty. There's a lot of them. Hopefully you guys can hear me alright. If you have any problems, just let me know. Adjust my audio. Trying to get my headset to work with the PS5 was a little bit more difficult than I was expecting it to be, and I had to do a bunch of tests, so hopefully the audio balance is alright. If you play the demo, you'll probably recognise this title screen already. It's not any different. What's really cool about the title screen though is it does change as the game progresses, which is kind of cool. But I won't talk much more about that because I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, we will wait for another 10 minutes or so and then I'll get this game underway. What I might actually do a couple minutes beforehand is just play the Resident Evil 7 recap video, the same one that was online. So when you start the game up the first time properly, it actually asks you, but I booted this up just to get it up and running, not realising those DLC things were going to pop up. Hope you're all looking forward to the game, and I hope you've all managed to listen to the podcast. It was pretty, I have to admit, a little bit difficult to make sure that we talked about the right things and not the stuff that we shouldn't talk about, because obviously we don't want to spoil it for people. So hopefully we've succeeded, because I was quite happy with the outcome. I think we all managed to talk about the right things without spoiling too much about the actual event, so it's very good. So officially the game launches here in 10 minutes. Digital stores, people who've pre-purchased it digitally and who can download it in advance, well as who have it launch pretty much in 10 minutes in my country. I think Australia's not too far behind, a couple of hours, and then progressively around the world. My understanding is that people actually somewhere in the US, maybe Pacific, actually get it a little bit earlier because of the time zone difference, so it launches out of the US the exact same time, which is a crazy way to do it, but it is. And in Japan it launches on the 8th, which will be it's a weird slight delay to do it on Saturday. I don't know if that's a normal day for a release in Japan, but yeah. Thanks for all the new people who joined. I hope you're okay with just sitting here for a few more minutes. We'll keep watching the title screen for a few minutes while I wait for a few more people to turn up, and then I'll launch up the Resident Evil 7 recap. What else can I talk to you about that's really good about this? Graphically I'm really impressed, but I think the thing that really blew me away, and it's the same thing that Miles Morales did on the PS5, is the load times. The load times on this are very fast, and yeah, I was quite impressed. How am I playing this early? Partly because we had access to it for the preview. but also because it's actually launching here in New Zealand where I am in about 10 minutes. It'll be the 7th at midnight, which is, it's currently 11:52 p.m. Thanks, Gene. You won't be hear me ramble, but at least you might be able to glance at what's going on. Yeah. Oh, fair enough, Nighthawk. I just missed your comment, but yeah, I don't want to spoil too much, so I can understand if you don't hang around for too much. I can say you'll probably be much happy to sit through the first 20 minutes or so. We'll probably go relatively spoiler free. A little bit of what I'm going to cover was in the demo, so if you played the Village demo, I'll probably get into a bit of that as well. I actually have no idea where I'm going to get in about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, so. Patrick, if you have an Xbox, you can actually change between accounts, and if you had purchased it locally, I think you can. I don't think you can just switch between versions once you've downloaded it, but I could be wrong. I don't have an Xbox, so I don't know. For the PS5, I know you have to have it locked to your region zone, wherever your account is. You can make accounts from different countries, so you could make it, in theory, make a New Zealand account. I don't know why, other than this, you would really want to, because the prices here are extremely high, and you don't be using it for specific games. Yeah, it's we'll start momentarily. I'm going to go into I'm going to hit start. It's a big spoiler, but I can say that there is a huge amount of concept art in the Tragedy of Ethan Winters selection, and it covers 7 and 8, and the Baker Incident Report, which I'm sure will leak on the internet, is a part of a paid DLC, and you can make your own judgments about whether or not you think that's an issue. I'm not going to discuss that, but it will probably get online. It's just text, so people will see it eventually. But we'll go into the movies. So we'll play the Remembering Resident Evil 7. If you've been online, you would have seen this already. It's just a brief recap of Resident Evil 7.
Okay. Where to start? My name? It's Ethan. Ethan Winters. It's been 3 years since everything happened at the Baker house.
Hey Nick, how's it going?
I was
Good to see you.
looking for my wife, who disappeared. I got an email from her. She told me to come get her. And of course, that's how I ended up in the middle of nowhere, Louisiana. I found Mia being held captive in a dark basement. She wasn't thinking right. She attacked me like some kind of wild animal. Later on, I found out that she was infected by a special kind of mold. I looked all over the house trying to find an antidote.
Hey Sean, good to see you. I'm just playing the recap for now. Don't stress.
People who lived there
good to see you.
were already infected.
Thanks for popping along for a little bit.
What was left of them wasn't human. The source of the infection was a bioweapon that looked like a little girl. Her name was Evelyn. I fought the fucked up Then Chris Redfield and his soldier buddies showed up and saved the both of us. Is that enough? I really don't want to talk about what happened anymore. It's all over now.
So yeah, that's the same thing that you would have seen if you saw it online. I'm just going to go check that the subtitles are on. This is the menus, obviously. I can't remember where the subtitles are. It's under audio. Display. Obviously, I don't have HDR on this TV, so no HDR for me on this. Ray tracing's on. I'm going to leave that on for this. I thought subtitles were supposed to be off. They're on. There we go. So we'll start in a few moments. Chris Redfield, yes, good one. Buddies, don't forget that part. We'll start in a couple of minutes. I don't know if there's anyone in the stream who hasn't played 7, so I assume you've all played 7 most of the way through. So if you haven't, I would highly recommend finishing that before you play Village, I think. you'll get more out of it. I mean, you can do what you want, but personally I would suggest it. That recap's a very basic recap, obviously, as well, so you've seen that online. There is a new little 30-second trailer commercial out today, and it's got a couple of little minor spoilers on it, which I was quite surprised at. So if you're trying to stay spoiler free, you probably wouldn't want to watch that, but if you're trying to stay spoiler free, you're probably not here. So or you're watching this in retrospect. So we'll get this started in a couple of minutes, and I'll kind of, as I said, go through some of the stuff and point out a few bits and pieces. I'll try not my best to not talk over the cutscenes, but if there's anything I want to point out, I will do so. Alright, hope you're all doing well. I'm just making a final check. Couple of things. I've just changed to a brand new PS5 controller as well for this. Not because it seemed like the right thing to do, but because my other one was flat and I haven't used this one before yet, so I just bought it the other day. So brand new controller for a brand new playthrough seemed appropriate. As I said before, for some of you, if you haven't had the chance, please listen to the podcast. I'm absolutely impressed with the fact that we managed to not only get the chance to play this, but we actually managed to sit down for an hour or so and talk without divulging too much, but being able to talk about the kind of cool stuff that we think is worth seeing in the game and a few of our concerns and so forth. We'll be back for another episode probably in a couple of weeks, sit down and pull the whole game apart, and obviously we'll be able to put spoilers in this. We're going to change this feed on the Discord, so if you do want to talk about it after you've finished, there will be a space to talk about it. But obviously also keep the non-spoiler areas spoiler free if you can help us. Cool, so less than a minute and I'll get underway. Has anyone got any questions before I start as well? Just asking. Throw them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll be starting. Alright, well, let's... Just in case there's anyone new. Could be. Might be the first stream they've watched. If that's the case, I feel sorry for them. I've never done this before. This is my first proper time. I tried to code Veronica one. It was... The stream just kept cutting out. And also, yeah, hopefully there's no technical issues tonight. Hopefully it's much better. I've cabled up my PS5, so... Right, let's get underway. I'll do it on standard. This is a fresh start, so I haven't played on this profile.
Long ago, a young girl went with her mother to pick berries for her father, who was hard at work. But the forest greeted them with a dark, cold silence, the bushes empty.
Happy launch day,
Yet
everyone.
determined to find the berries, the rascal broke free from Mother's grasp and vanished into the trees. Mother's worried cries faded fast as the girl ran on, over vine and under branch, and into the forest deep. Feeling strange eyes upon her, the girl recalled Mother's scary bedtime tales, and her throat became bone dry. Then the Bat Lord appeared. He greeted her warmly and bit his own wing. "Come, child, quench your thirst," he said. So she drank the thick, dark blood and smiled with joy. Passing through the graveyard, menacing storm clouds loomed, and the air turned bitingly cold. The girl was shivering in her thin clothes. Then a dark weaver appeared, and with a clip of his fingers crafted mist into a beautiful dress. "Come, child, warm yourself," he coaxed. So she clothed herself and smiled with joy. Across waters deep and ominous she went, hoping a boat she found would carry her home. But hunger's grip tightened and her heart grew heavy. Then the Fish King appeared and offered one of his many fins. "Come, child, eat your fill." So the girl ate and smiled with joy once more. Continuing on, she soon entered the forest's dark heart. Then an iron steed appeared, bearing a beautiful golden gear. The creature said nothing as the girl approached and snatched what she thought was another gift. The horse grew angry and summoned the other monsters. Terror filled the girl's heart as the wild wind rose around the beasts. Suddenly, a witch appeared, dark, yet regal. Gifts we gave, but more you took, she snarled. So more in turn is due. In a blink, the girl was trapped inside a mirror.
Wonderful bedtime story.
She's asleep.
What is with the creepy story? She's only 6 months old.
The woman at the store said it was traditional. A local tale. Besides, Rose doesn't seem to mind.
Because she doesn't understand it. Thank God. We moved here so that she wouldn't have to deal with any of that, remember?
There's nothing wrong with my memory. Just being paranoid.
You're right,
It's
Nighthawk.
not.
Ethan's on your side too.
I'm sorry. But I'm not paranoid. I'm just cautious.
Then, go cautiously take your daughter to bed. I'll finish dinner.
It's okay, Rose. Your mother doesn't want to remember it. I can't blame her.
So we're now in control, which obviously the game is telling me that
Nothing. I'll put her down.
we can have a look around the Ethan's home. There's a lot of interactive stuff in here, and it's worth having a check out. I'll show you a few random things that we can do. We can chuck TV on. What the relevance of the cartoon is. There are photos and knickknacks and stuff you can do. I'll have a look at.
Mom got you another new book?
This is a nice house. Somewhere in Europe. So there's photos, bits and pieces you can look
yeah.
at.
What a miracle.
Of course, we never see Ethan's face in these.
Couldn't even imagine something like this would
Still
happen.
hidden.
Once you're a big girl, we'll have a drink together, alright?
Now, notice this, I don't know if anyone knows, there's a CD in here that is, I think that's what I read the last time I looked. I wonder if it's a little nod. If we try and bug me, she'll tell us off.
Don't get too close to me when I'm cooking, babe.
We've been told. Birthday
Her
cake.
birthday will be here before we know it.
They grow up fast. Let's just enjoy it while we can.
And no mushrooms. No mushrooms at all.
Mia makes everything by hand, so this stuff keeps piling up.
At this stage, you're probably like, well, it's a quaint home simulator. Obviously, if you've been watching the trailers, you're probably going to expect something to happen eventually, but we'll get there. If you watch the trailers again, yeah, this will look familiar. Obviously, environments that you've seen in the trailers. As I said, there's plenty of
Beautiful.
photos and knickknacks around the house. So we'll head upstairs. Rose is getting fussy.
You're there. It's like I said to your mom. That book's too scary for you.
If you guys want to see the first little nod to some deep lore, just a reference. It's a bit like the ones in 7, but I thought I'd show it to you. It's a nice little nod. Just come in here.
Gotta do a deep clean before Rose starts walking around.
Just use the storage. If I come over to this bookshelf, you get a little highlight. If I examine the book, grab it again. It's a nice little nod. Files about the events in 7. So basically they've implied that it's a toxic gas leak that killed everyone and These people have all disappeared. So 10 years for a gas leak.
Everyone's forgotten about this already.
Not us, Ethan. Not us.
Why do I even keep this around? I should get rid of it someday.
Could wander around the house still. The bathroom. Unsurprisingly, no, you can't see Ethan's face in the mirror. Yes.
Your mama and I love this song so much.
That is correct.